What's up, YouTube? It's Joel. Bernie Sanders is telling progressives to tank the infrastructure bipartisan, keyword bipartisan bill because it's not tied to the $3.5 trillion mega bill. We've got AOC who is saying no to the infrastructure bill if it does not include the $3.5 trillion mega bill. We've got Mitch McConnell who has stopped the Democrats in the Senate from raising the debt ceiling. We've got U.S. Secretary Janet Yellen, who says that we can actually boost the economy with an infrastructure overhaul. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but the I.R.S. is trying to look at your bank account if you got $600 or more in there. Nevertheless, we are working towards our next goal. We want to hit 60,000 subs on this channel, and I'm going to do a huge giveaway of $500 to winners on this channel whenever we do. So in order to qualify, all you have to do is click the like button down below for this video. Number 2, subscribe or be subscribed to the channel. And number 3, comment on this video on a topic that we talk about. And please, if anyone asks you for personal info or to contact them on WhatsApp or to text them, it's not me, it's fake. Please don't do it. It's just a scam. So Bernie Sanders is a progressive Democrat, and he is telling those in the House of Representatives to do away with their votes on the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now, the biggest concern that they have is that it's not directly tied to the reconciliation package, and they want it to be passed together. Bernie Sanders said, let's be crystal clear. If the bipartisan infrastructure bill is passed on its own on Thursday, this will be in violation of an agreement that was reached within the Democratic caucus in Congress. More importantly, it will end all leverage that we have to pass a major reconciliation bill. That means there will be no serious effort to address the neglected crisis facing the working families of our country, the children, the elderly, the sick, and the poor. This is politics. Leverage. Using the infrastructure bill as leverage to get these other bills passed is what they're trying to do. Now, the vote on the infrastructure bill has already been delayed, and we will see if it gets passed or delayed again. But the biggest concern here is that a prominent leader is urging House members to reject a bipartisan bill. Biden's agenda is literally hanging by a thread here. And if there was ever a bad time for something like this to happen, it's now. With the debt for the U.S. about to go into default, it puts everyone into sort of a rushed mindset. We're not talking millions or billions of our taxpayer dollars. We're talking trillions of dollars. But there is something that they can do to make sure that we don't default on our debt. But Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Senate, says it's not going to happen. Mitch McConnell has said that the Democrats are on their own, and since they are the majority, they need to control the spending and make sure that the U.S. doesn't default on our debt. He said, why don't you just pass more money into the reconciliation package to allow for the U.S. to pay our bills? But Chuck Schumer has said no. Chuck Schumer said Democrats will not raise the debt ceiling by reconciliation. There's too much on the line to pay. And Congress, in my opinion, should be more focused on paying the bills that we already have and taking care of our people rather than trying to spend more money that we don't have in the realm of $3.5 trillion. So with this, we're looking to default on our debt really soon. Janet Yellen, who is the Treasury Secretary, said the government would be unable to pay its bills if Congress does not act by October 18th. October 18th is our big date, and if the government shuts down, things will start to happen. And hopefully we can see what we really need. I mean, we're taking in trillions of dollars of revenue every single year. Where's the money going? What is it being used on? Is it being used to truly take care of our Americans of our own? But with that, the progressive Democrats are doubling down on this as well as not voting for the infrastructure bill. to the point where they are telling the news that they're not going to vote, and it's gonna be a hard no. AOC said that she plans to vote no on the infrastructure bill, and she's not the only one. Cori Bush, who's a Democrat, said, "We made a deal. Now that it's been announced that the infrastructure bill will come to a vote, let me be absolutely clear. I will not support it without first passing the Build Back Better Act." Now, he's referring to the $3.5 trillion bill. So what we are looking at seeing is a showdown between the progressive Democrats, the moderate Democrats, and every other Democrat in there. Right now, a lot are saying that our economy is being artificially popped up because of all the stimulus, and Janet Yellen is saying we need more stimulus, and that the investments in the president's agenda would be a sweeping overhaul of our national infrastructure. So with this extra stimulus, it would boost the economy, and we could see some improvement, is what she's saying. But one huge concern is inflation. People are concerned with everyday items going up in price big time, like gas prices, like milk, like your electricity costs, like buying a used car. On top of that, we still are feeling the issues from the pandemic when it comes to supply chain issues and actually getting products on the shelves or products to build things. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that a recent spell of higher inflation might last longer than central bank officials had anticipated, but he repeated his expectation that the price surge should eventually fade. So with that, taking care of our people when we need to is a must. It should be a priority of our seniors, of our kids, but we have to be careful with these low interest rates and with inflation. It doesn't matter how much stimulus checks you give people if they're not able to properly use it because prices on everything has gone up so much. So with this, the Treasury Secretary is ready to move forward with stimulus. We will just see if the Democratic Party can actually get on the same page to get a bill passed if possible. But this is what moves us into our final topic for the day, which is the IRS wants to get into your bank account. This might make you think twice about supporting the new $1 trillion mega bill they're trying to pass. The Biden administration has made it very clear that they want to increase the power and funding to the IRS. Biden's latest proposal would be require banks to turn over to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, bank account information for all accounts holding more than $600. So if you got more than $600 in your bank account, the IRS is going to know and see everything that you're buying and spending your hard-earned money on. And all I got to say is, what happened to privacy? There is a ton of pushback on this, and rightly so. You have a right to privacy. You have to make sure that what you spend your money on, that's your business. It's not the federal government's business to know if you want to go and buy you some McDonald's or Burger King or Chipotle or something else. There's a letter that came out from several banking coalitions that are calling on Congress to reject this part of the proposal. It says, while the stated goal of this vast data collection is to uncover tax dodging by the wealthy, this proposal is not remotely targeted to that purpose or that population. In addition to the significant privacy concerns, it would create tremendous liability for all affected parties by requiring the collection of financial information for nearly every American without proper explanation of how the IRS will store, protect, and use this enormous trove of personal financial information. We believe that this program is costly for all parties, not fit for purpose, and loaded with potential for unintended and serious negative consequences. So talk about a huge liability. And not to mention data collection. Once they have your bank info, where does it stop from there? I really want to know what you think about this. And if you think this is right or not, let me know down in the comment sections and we can talk about it from there. But there's a huge problem now with, a lot of these apps that we have on our phones are collecting data. You've got a lot of websites that you go to are collecting data, and now the federal government, they want to collect more data on you. This is something that we should have privacy when it comes to our own money and our own spending and what we choose to do with our money. They need to worry about getting our tax dollars in check, making sure that we can pay our bills, making sure that we're not overspending with our tax dollars. To me, before they should be trying to look for more tax dollars, they need to manage what we've already given to them, which has been trillions of dollars of your hard-earned work money. But please, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all stimulus and economic news that affects you, and learn how to build some wealth and hear the real news. This is Joel with Your Life Investing. Until next time, peace out.